My message is, Gavin Newsom, I am going to expose you for the complete fraud that you are, the liar that you are, and you will never, ever be the president of this country. You will never do to the rest of the country what you have done to California. And so the only reason I'm doing this is to restore that balance. The balance is supposed to be that government is supposed to be working for us. We are not supposed to be working to increase the size of government. And that's the only reason why California is no longer the greatest state in the country. You can have our politicians say it as much as they want, but we are the laughingstock of the rest of the country. We are the laughingstock of the world.
I've long said California's Governor Gavin Newsom is a charlatan, but you don't have to take my word for it. Today I stumbled on a clip of California Sheriff Bianco torching Gavin Newsom for the fraud he truly is, and it was explosive. Trust me, even I was floored by the sheer depth of corruption this nonsense sheriff dragged into the light. Let's break it down.
Problems are completely caused by California government. We have the greatest businesses, we have the greatest people, we have the greatest business minds, the greatest innovators, the greatest creators, the greatest entrepreneurs in the country. We have the fourth largest economy that is artificially propped up to be something good. And the thing that is preventing us from being great, from achieving that California dream that I came here for, the only thing preventing us is government.
California has every ingredient to be a paradise. Perfect. Whether a booming economy, endless, natural beauty, and innovative people who can make the impossible possible. As Sheriff Bianco laid out, this state could be heaven on earth for its residents. But instead of living the dream, Californians are drowning in a nightmare the state is buried under. Crushing debt, rampant crime, exploding, homelessness, and streets littered with filth. This isn't some accident of fate. No, it's a result of failed leadership and reckless decisions. And at the center of it all stands one man, Gavin Newsom.
Has its boot on our backs, keeping us down with overregulation, activism, appeasement of activists, instead of taking care of the majority of Californians as a whole. And it's an agenda. It is a complete agenda of making sure that government is in control of all of our lives instead of us being in control of government.
Interestingly, Sheriff Chad Bianco isn't the lone voice crying out against California's suffocating overregulation. Big names from across the spectrum: Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, Mel Gibson, and yes, even Gavin Newsom's own fanboy, Bill Mayer, have all sounded the alarm. Their frustration centers on one thing: government's so obsessed with control that it sticks its nose into every corner of private life and business. Instead of empowering people, Sacramento smothers them with endless rules and red tape. The result, a climate that feels less like freedom and more like a chokehold, stifling, exhausting, and downright nauseating.
The only reason I'm doing this is to restore that balance. The balance is supposed to be that government is supposed to be working for us. We are not supposed to be working to increase the size of government. And that's the only reason why California is no longer the greatest state in the country. You can have our politicians say it as much as they want, but we are the laughingstock of the rest of the country. We are the laughingstock of the world.
On that point, I couldn't agree more. California has become the laughingstock of the world. Ask anyone what state comes to mind when they picture tent cities, open-air drug markets, and homelessness spiraling out of control. And the answer is always the same. California, this once golden state, is now a cautionary tale, and the blame sits squarely on the shoulders of Gavin Newsom. Add to that the Democratic Party's reckless strategy of courting illegal immigrants for votes, and you've got public facilities bursting at the seams, drained resources, and residents paying the price for failed, short-sighted leadership.
I were fortunate enough to go to Europe last year, and we had the first night there we splurged. We had an unbelievable dinner with we paid for a sommelier to come and make sure that we learned everything about Italian wine and all of that stuff. The first introductions: where are you from? California. And he laughed. and he said, "You guys have that crazy governor." And we're just looking at each other like, how would someone across the world know that we have a lunatic for a governor? So we started talking about it, and he's like, everyone wants to go to the United States, and it used to be everyone wants to go to California. Here, no one wants to go to California anymore. They'll go to California for Disneyland.
True, nobody wants to watch homeless. Encampments sprawl across California's streets while leaders look the other way. No one wants a vacation in a place where tourists risk getting mugged simply for taking in the sights and sounds of the state. And no family dreams of strolling through cities littered with trash, needles, and human waste at every corner. That's the harsh reality driving people away. California used to be the ultimate destination, a beacon of beauty and opportunity. Now, it's the warning label for failed leadership, and that's why fewer people want to come in more.
And it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing that we are no longer the greatest state in the country, and we're still all the same people. We're still all the same businesses. It's our government that has completely changed and brought us to this laughingstock position, and I'm going to take it back. I take some blame for it, because I wasn't standing on the rooftops yelling to everyone that we had to stop this, look what's going to happen.
Many businesses have already packed up and abandoned California, driven out by crushing taxes and suffocating government overreach. For them, the so-called Golden State became nothing more than a financial trap where innovation and growth were punished instead of rewarded. The ones that remain aren't staying out of loyalty or opportunity. They are staying because uprooting with their operations. They are stuck between two bad options: endure California's relentless squeeze or risk financial collapse trying to start fresh elsewhere. Either way, the message is clear. California's hostile business climate is chasing away its own wealth and prosperity.
While I was concerned with my career, my life, my family, my own home, and making sure that I was secure, I kind of just wasn't paying attention to what government was doing, and now it's affecting everyone. So I will make sure that what I came to California for, my California dream, I will make sure that every kid growing up now has that dream, and even the kids that now are from 20 to 35, that it's impossible for them to make their California dream.
Not only should Gavin Newsom be stopped from dragging California further into chaos, but he should also be stopped dead in his tracks from ever making a run for the presidency, which has clearly become his ultimate pipe dream. He hasn't openly declared his candidacy yet, but let's be honest, every movie makes every photo up, every carefully staged soundbite screams of a man eyeing the White House. But here's the hard truth: if this is what leadership under Nwomi looks like in California, skyrocketing homelessness, rampant crime, suffocating overregulation, crumbling public services, and taxpayers fleeing in droves, then why on earth would anyone hand him the keys to the entire country? America doesn't need another smooth-talking politician who can't back it up with results. The presidency demands competence, vision, and accountability, and Gavin Newsom has shown none of those qualities. If anything, here's a textbook example of how destructive failed leadership can be. The White House should remain far out of his reach.
Sure that I make up for it, and we return the ability to look at that Gold Coast as the beacon for the rest of the country. And if you're going to make it, you come to California to make it, and you work hard and you'll do it. That has to happen again. And that's really the only reason I'm running for governor.
California desperately needs to reclaim its lost glory. This is the state that once defined the American dream, a place where ambition met opportunity and where the impossible suddenly felt possible. It was a beating heart of the film industry, not just in the United States, but across the globe, drawing talent, creativity, and innovation that shaped culture for generations. California wasn't just another state. It was the dream factory, the land of booming tech, thriving businesses, and a powerhouse economy envied worldwide. But today, that image has been shattered by crime, homelessness, overregulation, and a mass exodus of residents and companies. To rise again, California must restore the values that made it exceptional: freedom, prosperity, innovation, and a government that serves its people instead of suffocating them. Only then can it once again become the shining destination where people from around the world chase and achieve their version of the American dream.
And Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil, and I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office?
Well, the sad truth is this. Gavin, Newsom, and Karen Bass aren't just politicians standing on their own. They are propped up by some of the most powerful players in California, from Hollywood elites to big tech giants and entrenched political machines. Their backing runs deep, making it almost impossible to unseat them, no matter how disastrous their policies turn out to be. Add to that the reality that California is firmly a blue state, and the odds of holding them accountable shrink even further. The Democratic Party dominates every level of government here, from the governor's mansion down to city councils, creating a 1P party stronghold that shields leaders from real opposition or scrutiny. This isn't democracy at its best. It's political entrenchment at its worst. And as long as these power structures remain intact, Nwomi and his allies can continue to mismanage California with little fear of being